I just kind of wanted to talk today about a couple topics. We'll get into education in a little bit. What I find as the boring part, but what you find is the interesting part. But this first part's the part that you hate. It's just like casual conversation.
Yeah, I'm not
about
a casual person. I don't like talking.
About what you feel like you're going to do in the next 5 years. Where do you see yourself? Not just with the company. Like personal. No children? I'm feeling
Possibly.
like I have vibes.
Maybe about 10 of them probably. No.
Well, I was thinking like 7's a good number.
Mm-hmm. 7's a nice round number.
And if you have mom and dad's luck, it's going to take you a while to get a boy. Well, they have to get there first, but it's going to take you a while to get a boy.
Mm-hmm.
So, good luck. And with his big old head.
She said 3. No.
Why 2? That's so boring.
Yeah.
I feel like, if you're going to go have kids, go big or go home. Mm-hmm. I mean, the fun experiences. I almost have one for each day.
Yeah.
I have one for each situation in my life. I know who to call.
Yeah.
Like, hey, I'm at a bar, Emily.
Yeah, come get me.
Come get me. Don't ask Tommy because he won't show up.
Nope.
He'll ignore your call.
If you get that flat tire, I'll come help.
You will.
I'll judge you at first.
You'll judge and say, how the hell did that happen? Mm-hmm. What did you do? What'd you hit? And I'm like, I didn't hit anything. That was a couple years ago.
Just a curve.
Yeah. A couple curves.
Yeah. Couple of them.
Or, does my tire look flat? When it obviously was flat.
Sitting on the wheel. Or
on the rim. You are the one that I call for those issues. Because I'm like, I don't know what to do. And Dad's going to just tell me to pay somebody to do it.
It's easier that way.
Honestly, it actually is. It's faster.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you got to deal with it.
Yeah, I don't have to listen to you complain about crap.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. I can't say that word. Can't say that. Anyways. Moving out, you want land? I mean, what goals? And you have to have some.
Well,
you just can't think of them because you don't think of them actively.
No.
Because you're still young and you're like, I'm going to live forever. And you're not.
with the stupid stuff I do, I'm not living forever.
Well, you don't do that many stupid things. The look on your girlfriend's face was just like, you're an idiot. Because you really don't even do that many stupid things.
With the race cars and go-karts and...
You only race go-karts.
Right now.
He acts like he's a daredevil where he like jumps off buildings and like does backflips and stuff.
I've tried a couple times and no, I'm too big.
Yeah, you tried doing that dirt bike thing and you fell off.
What do you think? I ran a dirt bike into the wall back behind the shop.
That's embarrassing. I don't know if I would even tell people that.
Yeah, it was pretty bad. It was the first time ever riding a dirt bike.
Yeah.
I put a big motor on a little bitty kid's ATV and accidentally pulled a wheelie on it and about killed myself. I flipped the go-kart over. I flipped over once over at Sportsdrome.
That was kind of scary.
That was fun. That was a blast.
That's like the dumbest thing I've ever heard him say. Except for, can I borrow $5,000? No. You're not borrowing that kind of money unless I get interest back on it. I'm not giving anybody $5,000. Sorry.
I'm sorry.
I'm a saver, kind of. For the most part, I'm a saver. I like to save. You don't.
No.
You're like, I'm going to go to the grocery and get some spices, and comes back and spent $500. I'm like, what spices are these? Like spices that you can't find? Like you had to special order them? Mm-hmm. I'm like, my word.
It's about like $1,000 a pound or whatever.
We won't have to. We're going to split that up when we move and be like, I get half of the paprika.
Like, I want 3 tablespoons of that, 6 of this.
I paid for half of it. Not yet. I got to write you a check.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Mm-hmm. Is you're like, I'm going to go spend this for the house. And I'm like, calm down. Okay?
Quit the splurge.
Just because Mom and Dad did the rehab on their house doesn't mean our house has to look exactly the same.
No, it looks better.
It's exactly the same.
Mm-hmm.
And I would pick Mom's house over our house. The coffee pot.
Well, that's why it's not
The nice microwave.
That's why it's not the same thing. It's still a nice microwave.
The island. You can fit how many chairs? 12 chairs at? Where we can only fit maybe 3.
Is it 12 or is it 14? I thought it was 14.
Oh gosh, it's a lot.
It's a bunch.
I mean, comfortably, I think it's 12.
Yeah.
When we have family over, we squeeze. But, yeah, I don't know. I think that when you guys get married, I'll probably just buy me.
That crazy old cat lady.
I don't like cats. And sometimes my dog irritates me because she's a child and she loves attention. And I'm like, can you go lay down? Stop bugging me all day long. God, it is like having a child. Like when Mom has the grandkids over. Like that was one reason. The parking,
Ooh.
every weekend having grandkids over and all the kids over and cousins. And I'm like,
Wild.
you're trying to make me move out, or you just want me to drink more, and I don't know which one it is.
She wants it like we was young again. She wants it like we was babies again.
I can't handle it.
If you haven't noticed, they're all about the same gap between.
They really are.
Yeah.
And there's
There's 7 of them, isn't there?
no, there's 5 that come over.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh no, word.
And they'd all be about the same amount of gap between them.
And then Mason's just as crazy as you were.
Oh my God.
I mean, that child. I'm like,
Has he started taking stuff apart yet?
not yet.
Not yet.
He was cleaning Corey's truck.
I seen that.
That was
funny.
cute.
He said that's the 3rd time he's washed just that wheel.
Yeah, yeah. Just wait till he takes it off the vehicle.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's when it'll be scary.
Like, oh, gotta lock the toolbox now.
Yeah, because now they don't have like DVRs and stuff. Because you would take DVRs apart.
Oh, that was fun.
Now, what's he gonna take apart?
Well,
An iPad.
Xbox and his mom's computer before she gets home for
She
work.
does. She does work from home.
Yeah, and has it. Computer.
How devastating would that
That'd
be?
be bad.
Oh, that would be so bad.
Taking TVs apart.
Oh,
Mm-hmm.
gosh, I couldn't. And that's just one thing. I'm like, then you have to watch them all the time. I've already said if I ever have to have children, I will have a nanny. Maybe 2. One for the day, one for the night.
I swear.
I mean, I just couldn't imagine. And they are fun ruiners.
Mm-hmm.
They ruin fun. And maybe I'll change my mind in 5 years.
You gotta know how to play the system. See, if we get 3 kids, we can take one to her mom's, take one to our mom's, and then we'll keep the other one. I think it's easy.
No.
And then you just, all you do is
Rotate them.
you just rotate them around.
No. Mm-mm.
Just somebody
No,
gets
because I
somebody
would get the
different
phone
every day.
call. Where are you? I'm at the bar. When are you coming home? I'm like, I just don't want to have to deal with that. I don't want to. Gosh, could you? I mean, Mom at my age, they had 3. I can't even get a relationship, and they were married for years. I mean, I feel like you guys have been together forever.
2 years.
2 years? Oh my God, that's so long.
Yeah.
Oh no, that's so long. Going out to eat with the same person? And you guys don't even go to the bars. I'm like, I would have to just, that's my fun.
Well,
It's like going out with my friends.
we don't have friends.
You need friends.
Yeah.
Your friends are all way older than you.
Circles. Small
Right.
Small circle.
Do you think that you'll like stay in Jefferson County, or do you think you'll like move out of Jefferson County for schools? Because that's a hard decision.
For schools, that is a hard decision.
Yeah.
But
I mean, but all schools are kind of crazy.
yeah.
I mean, it's just
Kind of
wild.
dark. Just,
I mean,
yeah.
it's just, I don't know.
Yeah.
It seems like it's happening everywhere, and it's kind of just
Yeah.
scary. I feel like more people are going to be considering like homeschooling anyways.
Yeah.
But that's tough. I had a fuck. I had a couple real estate friends like that were moms,
Mm-hmm.
and their kids did.
Mm-hmm.
I'm
I
like,
could see a lot of people, especially after the pandemic stuff,
Homeschool?
start doing homeschooling.
that's a lot.
You're doing it anyway.
Yeah, but
You know?
if you are, you know, I guess, I mean, you'd really almost have to be a stay-at-home mom.
Mm-hmm.
I guess. I mean, I don't really know how the programs work, but
Yeah, I don't know.
that's a lot of stress
Yeah.
because then you feel like it's on you.
Yeah. I wonder if you can get like a teacher. Well, I say teacher.
It's like a tutor. Oh, I'm sure you can get a tutor. So much easier to just get a tutor, which most kids, I would think, need tutors
Yeah.
because they're all on their iPads. And that's one thing that's changed a lot is that technology is, it seems like everybody, I remember at St. Stephen's we had those ancient laptops.
Oh my gosh.
They were so,
Lenovo.
I don't
laptops
know.
Or something like that. The ThinkPads. They were called ThinkPads.
were they actual pads?
No, they were computers.
Oh, okay.
Called ThinkPads. The freaking thing was heavy.
But now, do they have Apple or whatever?
They
Or
got iPads.
that's crazy.
sell-
No, they do monitor
they
them.
sell
I mean,
things.
they're
Yeah.
strict with the monitoring.
Oh, yes.
But I don't know. I just feel like I don't learn, like I have to write everything down for me to learn. And I write it down multiple times. But if I was sitting there like typing,
Red cream soda
there might be a Coke in the fridge over there.
in the fridge back there. There's a cream soda. Thank you. Thank you.
But growing up, if I had to type everything, I would have never learned anything. It would have taken me so long.
At the sales, they had one teacher, I think about 2 teachers, made us write every note by hand.
Hmm.
The only other thing you could do, like if you didn't get all the notes that they had written on the board, you could take a picture of them at the end of the class. But that's the only
Oh,
thing
that's
you could take a
cool.
picture of them.
I never thought about doing that.
But
That would have been handy
you
because I
had
was a
to-
slow
you had to-
writer.
Well, you had to write it down, and you had to turn the notebook in on
Mm.
Friday, and they would skim through them, make sure you had everything written
Oh, that sucks.
down. Yeah.
I loved high school though.
Yeah.
I mean, when you're in high school, you're like, oh, this sucks. And then I loved college too. You know, dropped out twice. Successfully dropped out twice, but I finished real estate school. But I would go back in a heartbeat. Looking back on it now, oh,
As long as I didn't have to do the assignments, I'd be fine.
oh no, I'd take the assignments over real life any day. And we had to present like every week.
Oh, yeah.
Our senior year,
You
it
all
was
had
like,
a lot
and they're not
harder.
like 5 minutes, it's like 10, 15 minutes.
Yeah.
And we had like, I remember, oh my gosh, one teacher,
See, the good
I
thing
thought
we
it was
had
the end of the world,
we
a
were
9-page.
probably always the last ones to go.
no,
Oh,
they'd be
I
like,
was.
you go. Or they would do like a
Always
little
went
wheel
ABC
thing.
order.
Well, they'll put your name in like the computer system.
Oh, and,
And
the
then,
random draw.
yeah, do the random draw.
Yeah.
My heart always stopped whenever I did that. I was like, oh no, I'm not ready. Not yet. One more person go before me.
Like, I need another day.
But now I'm like, oh man. Now I have to do a BNI, which I'm like, that's fine. But we talked about that.
Mm-hmm.
We've got some cool stuff coming up.
Yeah.
I'm working with Casey Perkins. If I haven't already said, Casey Perkins, my favorite. My home girl. I feel like we're kind of similar, me and her, but she's more professional.
Yes. She is fun.
Like we did pretty much the same volume,
hmm
but she's very professional.
Yeah. That's why I went to one of her houses one day to look at a carbon monoxide leak.
Mhm.
We'll talk about that later. But she was trying to hang up blinds, and it was so funny. She said, I've been here for an hour and a half, and I have not gotten a new blind hung. I was like, yeah. I was like, you might want to get something different about that. It was funny.
I love Casey. She's so smart though. She really is.
Yeah.
Super athletic.
Mhm.
Gosh, if anybody needs any real estate help, definitely call Casey. She's my go-to. We'll talk about the real estate market every once in a while. We'll get on the phone, chit chat. I just talk her ear off. I don't think she really gets one word in because I'm just like, blah, 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 blah. Oh wait, and I forgot to tell you this story. What happened? And then like I'll just send her like videos, like when I need to just update her on something.
Yeah.
I'll just prop the phone up. And I'm like, I'm really sorry, but I look crazy, and this is going to be a 15-minute long video, but I promise, It's just funny. She's funny. I love Casey. But is there anything that you, like, want to do before you hit 25? That's not, like, marriage and kid. Like, is there anything that you want to do that doesn't involve work, but it's just, like, personal? Like skydiving. I want to go skydiving.
I ain't that much of an adrenaline junkie. I'm good.
I'd be that person chicking out.
Oh, no parachute.
You got two. They say they have a backup one.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't want to figure out if I have to use one.
That's true. But you have to be strapped to somebody.
Yeah, for your first couple times.
I think you have to be, like, take a test to actually do it by yourself, which is pretty cool.
Sanity test is probably what it is.
One thing. You can't pick one thing.
I don't know.
I did say relationships.
I'd like to go out of the country.
Yeah.
That'd be pretty neat.
Travel like mom and dad.
I mean, we have before, but we stayed in a resort type deal. It wasn't the same.
Yeah.
So.
If I had to pick one thing, it'd probably find a relationship like mom and dad. And I knew I said you can't pick a relationship, but you have a girlfriend. Mm-hmm. I'm not in a relationship. So my goal before 25, I'm 24 now. My word. I'll probably find something like that, which is rare. Yeah. Which we're going to get into more of their full story. Mm-hmm. Like when they met, which they met like when they were 12. Woo. Yeah. That's a long time. They're on their 30th anniversary right now. Yeah. Obviously, we're a little bit early on the 30th anniversary because it's New Year's is when they got married.
Just a touch.
And just a touch, but just go for it.
Might as well.
And they're having a great time.
Especially right now, we're starting to
where it's cooler season, and it's not like freezing.
Yes, before we peak back into winter season.
Yeah.
This fall time, I think is usually our not our slowest because we're not slow.
Yeah.
But it's our chillest time. It's our most laid back, and we're still getting off at 5.
Yeah, but you have those.
But
it seems like
it's not as run. You gotta get stuff taken care of.
Yeah, where you were doing like 6-7 calls.
We're booked 2 weeks out. We're booked.
Oh, that was getting bad.
Like a day and a half.
Because I don't like to tell people no. I'm more like with real estate.
Especially when it gets that hot.
Well, I can't tell people no when it comes to work. And that's what made me burn out from real estate is I just couldn't take it anymore. It's too mentally draining and mental breakdowns all the time. But when I come here...
Did you have those too?
Oh, bad. Fun stuff. It brings character.
Yeah.
It does. Or it's like word. Whichever one.
Yeah.
Whichever one breaks you first. Yeah. Sometimes I think that. Anyways, I think the coolest thing though the past 2 weeks is it seems like Dad's kind of relaxed a little bit.
Yes.
Which I think probably because the cooler season.
Yes.
But it seems like everybody is starting to work even better as a team now that like everybody's kind of getting a groove.
Yes.
Mom's staying on top of it. I have a meeting a couple weeks ago with Mom and it's 6 o'clock in the morning. I wake up at 5:30 because she works during the day for UPS. But yeah, I mean, it's a lot to learn. I mean, I have so much that I have to get in this little bitty brain of mine that is stressful. But I think that,
like time periods, like for jobs, when it's a walk-in cooler or something.
I wasn't talking about that. I'm talking about these things that Mom that she does, that I am getting prepped on. Yeah. Because what I'm doing now is not what, I'm going to eventually hire somebody to do my position. Probably, it just depends. Yeah. It'd probably be when we get finished with this cold weather. Because I'll have a lot to do in this fall season, learning-wise.
It'd probably be best to try to get it right before spring.
Yeah, that's the thing is there's so much that goes into that job that when I got into it, it was so hot outside.
Yes, you picked it up during peak.
Yeah, which is not fun.
Yeah.
And over the past, like, I don't know, a couple weeks, it seems like the guys are more leaning on me for certain things. When I get those
You
annoying,
more dad.
I was not going for that. I was more of going for,
I'm sorry.
what are you even talking
I
about?
don't know.
We're getting into a heated conversation now. Why would they blame it on me?
No. They're leaning on you more than dad.
Oh, I thought you said blaming. I'm like,
Well, we
we're about
blame
to throw
everything on
hands
you.
right now.
We blame
Well, and I
everything
blame
on
everything on you all because you guys get on my
know.
nerves sometimes. That's one thing that was so difficult for me is I went from a female dominant industry
Yes.
to now I come in here every morning and I have how many guys? Six?
Of us? Yeah.
6 men. Oh! And it's like, what are we doing? What do we do? What's this? What's this? What about that?
Everybody's got a different thought about something.
I'm like, I've got a list of 25 things I've got to ask here.
Yeah.
And it's not for any of you all, it's for dad.
Yeah.
So, just calm down.
Yeah.
Or I get the calls like later at night, which is kind of, I like that to an extent. Unless I'm trying to eat or trying to jam in my car. And you guys always call me at the worst times. I'm like in the middle of the Taylor Swift song and I'm like, oh, yes. Going hard, singing. And then I see Tommy's name come up on my phone. I'm like, hello? What? I'm not even home. Can you give me 10 minutes so I can get my laptop out? That's when y'all irritate me. I'm like, but it's all fun. I mean, it's all, we keep it, I don't know, it's still a family vibe, but it's always going to be a family vibe. Even when mom and dad take a step back, which hopefully I would hope is in the next 3 to 5 years.
Yeah.
Most people are always like, he's never going to step back. But mom will make him step back. And if we can get it to a certain position, it's going to be easy for him to take a step back. If he can lean on us and trust us, then we're golden.
Yeah, exactly.
He'll always be in the picture, though.
Oh, yeah.
Always.
You can't get him to quit working.
No. He
I think he just
gets
likes messing stuff up.
No.
Just for us to get back in there and have to do it.
No, that's not
I'm
even
playing.
true. He is just crazy. He doesn't sleep.
No.
And I'm like, take some melatonin. Please.
Yeah, like we'll
You're stressing me out that you don't get any
work throughout the
sleep.
day, and then we'll come to the shop, work on the car.
Which I don't get. Like,
And we'll work here. I mean, there's nights we'll work here until midnight.
well, that's why
1
you're
o'clock
cranky in the morning.
And then he'll get right back up at what, 4?
Yeah, I mean, he probably wakes up at 4.
Not do that.
He can't sleep. I'm like, sleeping's like my favorite
Yes.
thing.
Well, it's
Like-
my second.
On,
My second. thing.
right, your girlfriend's your
No,
first.
after eating food.
Oh, you're about to get in a fight after this. You better watch your mouth. Your girlfriend's sitting right there. My word. Well, looks of it, food is your first one. I'm kidding. I gotta stop saying that. I don't want to be fat again. Karma bites me in the butt. I keep making comments like that. Oh, something bad's gonna happen to me, and I'm gonna get fat again. I'm gonna cry.
No, I'm not fat. I'm fluffy.
No, you're comfortable.
I'm comfortable.
You're comfortable in your relationship.
Mm-hmm.
It's good. It's a good thing. It's a fun thing. All right, let's get into the other stuff because I don't know how long this new camera lasts. But
No.
I know you're complaining about, oh, it's so bright in here.
I can't see.
I love it. I think it's just so bright and welcoming. And
blending in with your hat.
okay, rude. You know I'm self-conscious about my very pale skin. I wasn't blessed with that
I
gene.
go outside.
Okay. I don't need you hating on me.
I need to play
sound
a
like-
round or two more of golf.
I
there.
need to just start playing golf, actually. I need something else other
You
than
could just hang outside.
work and TikTok.
You need a little bit more.
Who, me?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm at a good weight. I'm at my favorite weight right now. Yep. I don't plan on losing or gaining. But I do get worried because, you know, I'm going to Texas soon. And I'm like, I know I'm going to be drinking a lot of beer and some really good foods. I'm going to come back. And you know how you gain weight over vacation. I'm scared. I'm so nervous. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to do my fake tan. Everybody looks better with a little tan on them. Everybody. I mean, you can't.
Tan.
No, I've got this like real good stuff that mom puts on me. I can't reach
It's
my
called
back.
Crisco.
No. He's so annoying. It's this.
Skin nice and crispy.
You're so annoying. You're so annoying. Okay, we're gonna get into some knowledge. All right, carbon monoxide poisoning. Fun stuff. So I'm just gonna read this. I'm not reading the whole thing. I'm just gonna little points on this from the CDC. Everybody needs to do their own research. We're not experts, carbon monoxide. So please do your own research. Do not quote us on this. I'm not reading it word for word. I'm literally just taking pieces of this, and we're just going to kind of go talk.
Stats.
Yeah. So, and I was really interested because we talked about cracked heat exchangers because a couple weeks ago it was freezing. It was like, what, 60 out, 50 out?
So it was a couple days ago.
No, I was talking, whatever.
Yeah.
When it first started, when we first started getting people calling and complaining about, detectors going off or whatever.
That's right.
So I was really interested in how many people actually die from it because you can't smell it. You don't smell it. All right. So the CDC says that 430 people die in the U.S. from accidental carbon monoxide poisoning every year. I thought it would be higher, but here's another thing. 50,000 people visit the emergency department.
Yes.
Every year from carbon monoxide.
Department?
That's what it says.
The emergency room.
Emergency department each year.
Okay, that doesn't make as much sense. Okay.
I know, it's kind of confusing. Whatever. Anyways.
I like how they got a picture of a smoke detector.
Yeah. Well, no, because you can get smoke detectors that
but they're
are...
not shaped like a radio.
Oh, they're not shaped like that?
Usually rectangle.
Oh, interesting. Well,
yeah.
CDC needs to update that.
Yep.
Anyways. All right, so we just said that the fumes are not color. You can't smell it.
Odorless. Yeah.
Okay. So these fumes typically come from your furnace, kerosene heaters, vehicles. Don't close your garage door and leave your car on. That's a no. Stoves, gas ranges, portable generators, burning charcoal and wood. That was interesting to me. Is that true? I didn't think that. Interesting. Okay. I would have never thought that.
Yeah. So
I mean, okay, the charcoal, but the wood?
Yeah, you know the ones that got soaked in lighter fluid or whatever.
Oh, I was thinking just like...
I don't know about regular wood. I'm not sure.
Okay. I wouldn't have thought about that. I really, honestly...
I know the ones like the lighter wood, the, what you call it?
Those are expensive.
Yeah, the ones you just sit in there and you like that one. And
yeah, that's...
The rest of what
I just feel like that's so Americanized, lazy. Dad's gonna tell me to take that out.
Yeah.
Yeah, here's my feelings.
Yeah.
Whatever. Anyways, all right. So ways that you can protect yourself, whatever you want to call it. So they're saying that you need to get those things, the furnace, the kerosene heaters, vehicles. Well, I don't know why they would say vehicles, but you need to get it checked every 6 months.
Well, your house. Excuse me.
No, I'm sorry, that's wrong. I was reading a different one.
Yeah,
They say check your batteries every 6 months.
Check your battery. Oh, like
for your detector every 6 months.
Yeah.
Now I was skipping down. Get things serviced every year from a licensed technician. Yes. This one kind of was also kind of confusing to me. Keep your vents and flues free from debris. Mm-hmm. Is that because it would get clogged and then it wouldn't be able to get out?
Your flue pipe or your chimney stack, whatever your furnace or water heater vents into, you would have to make sure you would get like somebody like a chimney sweep.
Okay, I was going to ask you, is it typically the chimney? I guess maybe like leaves. I mean, would it be leaves?
Leaves, squirrels. I mean, you'll find dead animals.
I would assume that you could smell that.
Typically, no, actually.
Really?
Yeah, because it's sealed in the ductwork, so it's sealed into your furnace, so you wouldn't smell.
Well, I was thinking like a regular chimney.
Well, yeah, if it gets in your regular chimney, but
you'd probably smell. But if you're talking about your flue front, like if you so I think I can see it in my head. I can't explain it.
A masonry chimney, and it could be like an old fireplace chimney that they've covered up in the wall, but they'll leave it accessible for us to run a flue pipe out of. And what we'll do is we'll have to run a chimney ladder, which is a metal pipe, pull it through the chimney to use to vent your furnace, because you can't just vent the furnace into the chimney. You have to have some sort of, whether it be a PVC pipe for 90%er or a flue liner for an 80%.
Well, it's in one ear, out the other for me. I think that was it on that. So that's just what I picked up from the CDC. I figured that was probably the most. I didn't want to get into like all these other websites and then like worry that they weren't correct or whatever. So that was kind of an interesting report. I thought more people would have died every year from carbon monoxide poisoning, honestly. But so when we go out to, so we're coming up on the no heat and the fall cleaning.
No heat season.
So we got the no heat and we got the fall cleaning season coming up. Are we looking intentionally, like are we always looking for cracked heat exchangers? Because that's what it comes from typically with the furnace.
So, and it's not always that. I mean, you could have a stove that's not burning properly, whether the gas it's got too much gas pressure.
Yeah.
It could be bad water heaters. And we'll check that type of stuff. Normally what I do, I know Donnie does it. I'm pretty sure Donnie does it. I know I do it. Is I take a CO detector, a little carbon monoxide detector.
Yeah, you were talking about that.
Reads in parts per million. That's how you typically read it.
And it just goes off?
And it doesn't really go off. If it picks up above 2 or 3 parts per million of carbon monoxide, it will start flashing a little red light. And as soon as it gets up to, I think it's got to get up to like 20 parts per million for it to start beeping or whatever it does.
Yeah.
And I actually just picked up a new one. That way I have it for this season. Just in case.
Yeah. How common is it? Very common? Very common. How many people actually have carbon monoxide detectors?
Not too many that I've actually seen. I did a job the other day and they're like, oh, we've had this for like 3 years and we never hung it up. I'm like,
where would you put that? I mean, if you have a carbon monoxide detector, do you just put it wherever, like where you would put a normal smoke detector?
Pretty much.
Or would you recommend put it closer to the furnace?
Well, you want to keep it away from a furnace or water heater or anything that's got any type of draft induced. If it's a natural draft type unit, I believe it's like 8 to 10 foot away because it will pick up and it can have false alarms.
Oh, I got you.
Now, you don't want to put it right under a vent, and you don't want to, because the heat will damage them. But usually, I mean, if you're buying them, read the back of the box. The box is going to tell you pretty much everything you're going to need.
Yeah, I mean, that would make sense.
Just because there's going to be differences between the brands.
Is there a way that a homeowner can prevent for their heat exchanger to crack?
Maintenance and change your filters.
Really?
Biggest two. Yep. Because if you don't change your filter out and the filter's real dirty,
it'll suck it through.
Well, no, it's keeping all that heat in the unit. You're not.
Is that usually?
That's the number one.
When we go from hot to cold drastically, and people are like, "Oh no, it's really cold in here," it doesn't cause it to crack.
So normally the manufacturers usually have a minimum temperature you want to turn the unit on. I think the majority of them is like around 50 degrees. That's as low as you want the temperature in the house to be, because you don't want that super cold air. Because a heat exchanger would usually be about probably about 175 degrees.
Ooh.
So you don't want that temperature, that cold air going across it can cause them to crack. Normally, if it's that cold, you'll hear them popping. You'll hear the heat exchanger actually expand and contract. You'll hear it start popping and crackling.
Should you be alarmed if you hear that?
Yes. Yeah.
Do you have it like a scope though, don't you?
Yeah.
That you can run through it. If they're like, does it find these like really small? Like, are they small cracks or are they like, obviously there's a crack there?
Oh, I've seen them both ways. I've seen hairlines, and I have seen units where I have not been able to see a crack until we had to take the unit apart.
Interesting.
Yeah. Because what I normally would do is I would have like a CO detector. I'll keep it in my little tool bag, keep it away from the unit.
Yeah.
And then I'll just look over the unit, and I might see a crack, but we might not be picking up anything on the CO. Because what will happen is as the units expand, those cracks they'll almost close up. Because as it gets cooler, it contracts. The unit contracts, and as it heats back up, it expands. So it'll close all those gaps up. Now it doesn't always do it perfectly, but I have seen them split and leave like a 1-inch gap in the heat exchanger before.
Is it usually like older units or
Yes.
okay?
Typically, newer units aren't the best either. I mean, we've had.
It really just depends.
It depends on biggest thing: maintenance, proper installation, and keeping the filters clean. That's the biggest thing. Those are going to be the biggest thing.
I mean, it's pretty straightforward at that point.
Before they were 3 or 4 years old and they had cracked heat exchangers.
Yeah.
Because you put the unit in, you leave the filter for the customer.
Mm-hmm.
If they don't change it.
Yeah, I mean we don't come over and change them every month. Yeah. So, yeah. Well, we're to the end of this podcast now. But if you're looking for a carbon monoxide detector, I looked it up today on prices because I'm like, well, how much are they? They can range from $20 to $120. So that was pretty crazy.
Yeah, I would recommend if you have a unit that's over 5 or 6 years old, and to get a smoke carbon monoxide.
Yeah.
One of the twins. That way, at least if you don't have a smoke detector, you at least you're putting one in your house.
Yeah. Yeah, but the ones that are like up there in price, the one that I saw for $120 was a smart one where you can connect it to your phone, where you have the app.
Commercial grade one like we use.
Right. I mean,
if it was me, $160.
If it was me, I would honestly probably just buy the app, like the basic, in between.
Yeah.
Well, you don't want the cheapest, you don't want the most expensive, because I don't like technology.
Yeah.
Because it's just, you go buy a refrigerator and it breaks.
Yeah.
But the ones that are, 20 years ago, 10 years ago, worked so much better.
Yeah.
And they're way more reliable.
Yeah.
It's like you get a new phone and it's glitching and all this stuff. Because they're trying to just produce them at such a high rate.
Yes.
Everybody wants the smart stuff.
You always have human error and machine error.
Everybody sees, I can hook it up to my phone and on my app, and they just always like, ooh, it's pretty, It's cool.
And you might get one that's tied in, if you have a smart home or home security, you might look and see if they have them.
That'd be pretty cool. I didn't think about that.
I don't know if Nest has them.
Nest does, because that's the one that I pulled for $120.
SimpliSafe does, and I want to get SimpliSafe stuff for that.
So I thought that was just pretty cool. Mm-hmm. Personally, I wouldn't be spending that kind of money on it. Yeah. I'd probably be getting the ones that are like $50, $60.
Yeah, and another thing you might want to look at is, because if you get on the internet and look, you'll be able to find like a chart of how many parts per million can cause certain symptoms. Mm-hmm. So like I want to say it was right around 15 to 20 or 15 to 30 parts per million will start causing headaches and dizziness.
Yeah.
And if you get
that was one thing I missed.
You have that chart on there?
Hold on. Where is it? Because I thought it was so interesting. So the most common symptoms is the headaches, dizziness, weakness, nausea, vomiting, chest pain, and confusion. But this I found was very interesting. Not the first part, because obvious. Mm-hmm. You won't have the symptoms if you're sleeping. If you do, you'll probably wake up with, oh my gosh, your head.
Yes.
But this is
headaches.
The one for me. If you have been drinking alcohol, it says that you might not have those symptoms. Yeah. You might not notice the symptoms because you're drinking. Yeah. You fall and you're drunk and you're like, and the next day you wake up and your knee is bleeding. You know what I'm saying? Just whatever. Anyways.
But you might want to look at that, and some of those detectors, I'm not sure. I know that some of the cheaper ones will read between 50 and 100 parts per million, which is very high. You're already starting to get in the real danger zone. Mm-hmm. You want to get one that reads as low as possible.
Break that down for people, because I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, the parts per million is how many parts of carbon monoxide, which CO, is in the air in 1 cubic foot, whatever it is. Well, the more parts per million that there are in one area causes more of a risk, because you're not getting enough oxygen.
Oh, okay.
Yes, because if I remember correctly, carbon monoxide is heavier than air, so it almost feel like somebody's sitting on your chest when you're breathing.
Oh,
that's the biggest.
See, when I always thought about it,
breathing, dizziness, nausea.
I always thought people just in their sleep, but I didn't realize you would actually have.
Yeah.
It sounds really stupid saying it out loud now, that you wouldn't have the symptoms.
Yeah.
I didn't, because they always call it the silent killer.
Yes. We did a job for somebody, I don't know, about 2 years ago or so now. And they were about to go to bed or whatever, and it was 3 people. It was, I think it was mom, dad, and the daughter. And the mom and daughter had passed out or something, and the dad was starting to get dizzy and couldn't see her.
Oh my gosh, I would be in straight panic.
Called 911 and barely
They
You
barely
could say the
survived.
address and that's it. And pass
Wow.
out. Yeah, it was bad.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's some
Honestly, it was a
horror
cancer patient,
stories.
too.
I'm sure there are some horror stories about it.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah. But, oh, that's the podcast for today.
Yeah.
Or for the month. I don't know. We'll probably do it. We're going to try to do it
Twice a month or...
twice a month because
At least
now we're going into the cooler season. So you have more time.
Yeah.
I have more time to come up with what we're going to talk about
Yeah.
that day. But, you know, what I'm excited for is we're going to bring Dad on and we'll probably have like a 5-hour podcast.
Yeah, it'd be pretty good.
But we're going to just talk about him growing up and his dad,
Yeah.
what his experience was working with his dad.
Yeah.
His dad didn't start Wright Mechanical.
No.
Our dad started Wright Mechanical. But there's 3 generations of
Yeah.
HVAC. And I really do think it's in the blood because even Kimberly married into an HVAC company.
Yes.
That is just weird. It is weird. It's in the blood.
Good luck.
She had to do it, I guess. I don't know. There was something about it. But yeah, there's 3 generations. Mom and Dad opened it. They built it from the ground up.
Yeah.
Absolute ground up, and have hustled and grind and work every day. And I will say this, and Mom and Dad aren't going to like me saying this, but what makes me so mad is when I go out and see people and they're like, oh, parents are on vacation again.
Oh.
And I'm like, first of all, people, our parents we didn't take vacation. We might have went once or twice a year to Gatlinburg. That was one day. One day. We would stay the night.
Left Friday, stay there Saturday, leave Sunday.
Yeah. So
We did it all.
We-
I say all the time. It felt like it was all the time.
it was great growing, and I'm not saying I didn't have a great time. It was the amount of stories we could tell
Oh my god.
from that kind of stuff just on drives is just amazing. But how many times do you go to the lake? You know, for these people, how many times do you go to the lake every year?
Every week.
You know, you get how many weeks off on vacation? So look at it as mom and dad have saved that up for the past 20 years.
Yeah.
They've been married for 30 years, actually 25 years, because they've really only started taking vacations about 5 years ago.
Yeah.
So, you know, if you worked at the post office, he would have, oh my gosh, years off almost.
Yeah.
That's exaggerating. Obviously, people don't comment on that. But I do actually find it very offensively.
Yeah.
It actually hurts my feelings
It's funny. I like picking on Dad.
because, it, you know, yeah, we're always like, oh, vacation again. But if you really look and think about it, absolutely nobody's worked
They deserve it.
harder
No.
than our parents have ever worked. Dad wakes up super freaking early, gets his ass in here.
Yeah.
Now mom's, you know, making him come back, work from home a little bit. It's a little bit less stress. My mother, her job doesn't start until 8 now. She is up at 6 o'clock in the morning. And I'm telling you, she does not stop working. When I say workaholics,
She's always done that.
but she didn't always. No.
I mean,
But there was a point in time in our lives where she had to.
Back when she was working third shift.
Oh,
she
third
would-
shift, and then she would
she
make
would-
cakes
Oh
and
my gosh,
I mean,
she would get, what do you think? Probably five
no.
5 or 6
No.
hours of sleep a week?
no.
Not
Oh, a
even
week?
that.
Oh, a week. Yeah, a week.
Oh, she would. No,
I mean, the
she'd get
woman-
like 30 minutes to an hour a
And
day.
the thing is everyone you meet is like, your mom is an angel.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know how, because I get 8 hours of sleep and I want to rip someone's head off. And I'm like, I need another 3 hours. But you give her a weekend off. Oh my word! I'll go over to their house now and I'm like, Mom, you're still sleeping? Yeah.
She's catching up.
I'm like, Jesus, woman, don't you need to like get up and get a water break or something? Like your mouth has to be parched sleeping that long. But no, I'm not taking that part out of this because
It's true.
it's the truth, and that's how we roll. We don't come to your house and try to sell you things. We don't bullshit you.
No.
We tell you straight up,
As real as we can be.
these are your options. Here's what it's going to cost to fix it. You know, if you want a quote, we'll give you a quote, but we're not going to pressure you
No.
because that's just not how we are. Dad's not a salesperson.
No, I hate selling stuff.
And that's how I was in real estate too. So I transferred into, because we were raised that way. It was always be honest and just be upfront.
Yeah.
And I'm kind of like Dad, whereas I'm a little too blunt
Yeah.
sometimes with the honesty. Working on it. It's taken a lot of years.
Yeah.
But it's just how we roll. We do it, you know? And they don't call it the right way for no reason.
It's the best way to be.
It's how we are.
Yep.
We'll never change. We'll evolve, but we'll never change our core values. So it's exciting.
Yeah.
I like that one. I love the last part because that really got me hyped up, you know? Because there's just no one I love more than our parents.
Yeah.
I do want to be buried next to them. I don't know why I just said that.
They do
but
get on my nerves at times.
But did you just hear what I said? I want to be buried next to them.
Yeah.
Why would I say that? That's so stupid.
You just have to foot it.
Well, it's so weird. I don't know why I even said that. It's so embarrassing. Whatever. We love our parents. What can we say? We're the favorites.
Yes.
And if we aren't now, we will be one day.
I'm still the most favorite, though.
Honey buns. Whatever. All right, we're out. We're going to bed.
Yep.
Bye.
See ya.